a penalty game and crazy looking art style. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton, and today let's talk about chapter 1 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters manga series. Now then, I haven't read this manga before, nor have I watched season 0 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. Therefore, the idea of penalty games and a much more darker toned manga really came to a surprise and a shock to myself. However, despite all that, this chapter was really fun to read. Now, for the purpose of keeping true to the manga itself, I want to use the names given to the characters / the Japanese names used. So if you're a dub-only watcher, then you can still watch along. Simply just understand that Yugi is still Yugi, Taya is Anzu, Joey is Janochi, and Tristan is Honda. If any other characters appear with different names, then of course I'll let you know moving forward. But for now, that's all we need to keep in mind. So then, for this chapter, I thought the introduction of characters was great, but the introduction to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game wasn't. In fact, we got no mention of Duel Monsters as a game at all within this series of the first chapter. So that left me a bit confused. So we move along to Millennium Puzzle, and we learn that Yugi finds out whoever completes it is granted a wish. Now, this idea of Yugi's wish coming true was conveyed and presented excellently. The writing here, I thought, was perfect. The wish itself was friendship, and although the evil spirit of the puzzle never directly gave Yugi friends, the puzzle itself was used as a linking device that helped display the building of friendship between Yugi and Janochi. The Millennium Puzzle was the main focus point throughout this entire chapter, as we see Honda and Janochi bullying Yugi and sort of teasing him using this Millennium Puzzle at the start of the chapter, and then Janochi proceeded to steal a piece and throw it away. Not knowing this fact though, Yugi later on stood up for the beaten pair, and this act sparked something within Janochi, leading him to find the missing piece of the puzzle that he stole and threw away and give it back, claiming that he was one of Yugi's friends and he was returning a piece of the puzzle that he found. So in a weird roundabout way, the Millennium Puzzle did help grant Yugi's wish of friendship, although you could also argue that Yugi himself granted his own wish through his act of bravery. Nevertheless though, I still think from a writing perspective, the puzzle was used as a good medium to help Yugi grant his wish in a sense by using that myth, legend, and the act of bravery from Yugi himself. So then, I mentioned that the series had a more of a darker theme / vibe to it, and this was definitely created thanks to the various different things on display. We had physical violence and bullying displayed throughout the entirety of this chapter. We had the more creative and darker implications of the penalty games that were introduced, as the evil spirit from the Millennium Puzzle challenged Yugioh to this penalty game, in where they each take turns stabbing money on top of their hands, and whoever has the most money at the end wins. The loser faces a penalty game, or punishment. This, of course, is something that we've never seen before in Yu-Gi-Oh! And seeing that the spirit of the puzzle acting this way, it does help to create this vibe, this atmosphere, something you definitely would not expect from the anime itself. Now, I've heard that these penalty games do get more creative and more brutal as we move forward. Although I haven't seen what happens in any of them, it does get me excited to see what's waiting for me as I read on through the chapters. The art style and character designs changed slightly from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, but the more notable characters would have been Janochi and the puzzle spirit. Janochi looks more rougher around the edges, where the puzzle spirit looks a lot more evil, insane and crazy. Both of which I do not mind the changes in character designs. As a side note though, the character design from the hall monitor Yugioh, the kind of antagonist, if you will, from this chapter, did look very much like Officer Trudge from the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's anime. And when I read the chapter and saw his character get introduced, I was like, why is a 5D's character in this manga? Now then, as for things I want to see moving forward from this manga, I really would like to see how Yugi, the little one, the main Yugi, reacts to learning of the puzzle spirit's actions. As because, personality-wise, they're both so different. The puzzle spirit left Yugioh in a pile of leaves and trash, with a broken mind, making Yugioh feel like he's kind of trapped in this money cycle where he can grab lots and lots of money everywhere. So Yugi would never actually do this. If he had found out about it, I'm sure he would react badly. He's too kind and wholesome for this manga, if I'm perfectly honest with you. From the ending segment as well, it's very clear that Yugi does not remember anything that happens when the puzzle spirit takes over. Plus, I also wouldn't mind seeing how Yugi's friends, so Anzu, Jinochi, and Honda reacts to the spirit and to the idea of penalty games when they finally get to see them. As well as the fact is, I want this manga to introduce a name for this puzzle spirit, because pretending like I don't know what the name of this spirit actually is, it's kind of annoying, but nevertheless though, I still really like the ideas and the creativity and what the manga is presenting within this first opening chapter. Overall, this was a really fun to read. It was an exciting chapter to start off the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters manga, and I do wonder if we are going to be seeing any card games taking place in this manga. Because based off of this, from first impressions, it doesn't look like we are going to. However, if you haven't read this or seen Season 0 yet, I would highly recommend to read this manga. Let me know all of your thoughts about this manga in the comment section down below. What was your first reactions when you first started reading? Please don't spoil anything for me, as obviously I am reading this with fresh eyes, so I'll prefer it if I went through most chapters spoiler free, but I'd still like to hear your thoughts and opinions. Nevertheless though, hope you enjoyed this review. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll be seeing you next time. Have a great day. Alligator, matane, goodbye.